All right, doing a little commentary here. This is Will Upchurch. I was just defeated by Billy Stubbs, 4-1, putting Billy in the semifinals against Tim Wiseman. Billy's warming up here with Q a little bit just to keep warm. The match that's about to take place will be Q, Brian Quezada, in the far position in the red shirt against Brian Accrocco. These two are playing to become masters, which means the top 10 players in the sport at any given time. So the winner of this match between Q and Brian Accrocco will become an automatic master for 2012. For those of you that were watching Billy and I's match, I thought I would come and explain something that Billy was doing. There were a couple of games there where Billy was up 6-1 or 6-2 against me, and he started hitting a lot of slow off goals. And my response to that was to put my mallet against the back of my goal and just wait for him to hit a real shot. Billy knows that at the end of tournaments, I have a tendency to run out of gas, not being in as good a shape as some of the other top players. And so Billy will, when he gets a big lead against me, Billy will attempt that tactic to wear me out. He wants me to try to interfere with the puck, chase the puck, get the puck, and use more of my energy in games in which it's unlikely that I'll come back on him. I recognized that because he has used it against me in the past, and so I chose to make the correct play there, which is just to use the time to rest. So it took away Billy's strategy, gave me a little bit of an advantage in those games, and I know it looked very strange on camera, so I thought I would come and explain what was going on there. Just a little bit of game theory here in air hockey, and I am now being called a ref. So we will talk to you later. I'll be back with live commentary of both the semifinals and the finals.
Okay, we're here live. Joining the match a little late. We're playing the 9 through 12 spinoff, Brian Accrocco versus Brian Quezada. This is Don James tableside along with national champion Billy Stubbs. We're at the 2012 Air Hockey World Championships in Houston, Texas. This is a spin-off match. The winner of this match actually gets into the top 10. So the winner of this match is what we traditionally call in air hockey as a master. And the loser will finish 11th in the world. The current rankings of these guys, Brian Accrocco is ranked 7th. Brian Quezada is around 13 coming into the tournament.
A little bit of history about these two players. Brian Quezada is 0-5 lifetime against Brian Accrocco. So he really hasn't played him close. This would be a big breakout for Quezada to win. It's 4-4. Brian with a nice forehand underbank out of a reverse diamond drift. What you're going to see in this match is primarily Q's going to attack Brian with a cut and right wall under. That's his bread and butter. Out of Brian Accrocco, you're going to see a lot more variety. I think the key to this match will ultimately be, can Quezada's defense stop Accrocco's attack? I think Quezada's going to score fine. It's just in the past, Quezada has been scored on pretty easily by Accrocco.
They played earlier in the tournament. It was 4-2.
I believe it was 4-1. 4-1 or 4-2 Brain.
Brian Accrocco is Brain. That's the man in the sleeveless red top on the near side of the table. On the top of the table is Brian Quezada from Chicago. We call him Q. Brian Brain Accrocco is from Houston, Texas. And they played a challenge match as well, which was...
The challenge match. They played two challenge matches, actually. I believe both were 4-0. The first challenge match may have been 4-1. So the record is actually a little worse than I first...
Brian may have some, Accrocco may be 10 sets to love on him, something like that.
10-0 or 10-1, possibly. And a big point by Q to get off to a quick start.
I don't know why Brain is pounding the table there. Good start. I think, Lil Fletch was giving some advice to Quezada before that match. I think he was telling him crosses and overs, right ball overs. It's not Q's forte, but they are weaknesses of Brain.
So Brian Accrocco has been playing air hockey competitively for about 2 decades. Brian Quezada is an upstart player. He's been playing a little over 2 years. I think if this match was to be played next year after another year of training by both players, I think Quezada would be a 3 or 4-1 favorite. I think this match, watching Quezada play, is a little akin to watching a minor league ball player that you know is going to be the next big star, like a Bryce Harper in the minor leagues this year. It's just a year too early for Quezada, but next year I think the smart money's on Quezada to crack the top 5.
The equivalent, like the first time Sampras played McEnroe.
Well, those names might be a little bit too big to compare them to, but yeah, that's the right idea.
But Brian Accrocco, I think, is 38 years old. Quezada is...
Quezada's 31.
Quezada's a tall drink of water. That boy, what is he, 6'6"?
I think he's around 6'4", 6'5". Quezada holds a PhD in material science from Northwestern, very analytical player. Likes to really study and break down the game.
He's a bridge engineer, right, by trade now?
That's correct. Yep.
And I think Brian Accrocco is an IT guy here in Houston. Refereeing the match is Will Upchurch. We just watched him play. Will's finished 4th this tournament. Above his predicted order of finish. So a really good tournament. I would say there is a lot on the line in this match, even though it's not the finals of this spin-off. The winner is top 10, which means a lot to the players. It'll be Brian Quezada's only 2nd time finishing master if he's able to do it.
It will be his 3rd time.
Oh,
he finished 7th at the last tournament and 9th the tournament before that.
Okay, so it'll be his 3rd time in a row.
That's correct.
Okay, and Brian has done it pretty consistently, off and on, for at least 10 years. I would say he's probably been mastered 10, 15 times.
So Quezada entered this tournament probably one of the most prepared players, definitely in the top 3 or 4 most practiced players. He practices 5 days a week, about 2 to 3 hours a day. He's definitely well trained for this tournament. I think this match is going to come down to, can he mentally keep it together? And as I stated before, will his defense be able to hold out Accrocco's attack?
That was a beautiful chase shot. Right wall under by Brian Accrocco. Quick cross straight from Quezada.
I think what Q's looking for on defense is tails from Brian. Brian does tip his pitches a little bit. If you notice, when Brian bounces the puck off what is his right rail, he normally shoots a right wall bank. If the puck does not contact the right rail before shooting, it's normally a straight shot or left wall under. That's about 80% of a tail, so look for Q to definitely pick up on that. And we're at 1 game apiece. Following this match will be the finals of the losers bracket. Will be myself, Billy Stubbs, versus Tim Weissman. The winner of that will be guaranteed second place and advance to the tournament finals. The loser will be third place.
Well, like you said, so far, Quezada does not have a problem scoring. It's defense, which is the problem against Brain. The winner of this match, like we said, finishes top 10, and they'll actually be against Keith Fletcher in the finals of this spin-off, playing for 9th place. They'll have to beat Fletcher twice.
Yep, the winner of this match can finish no higher than 9th. 9th through 10th for the winner.
Quezada has some kind of minor dispute with the referee. What's the table has a which side is the advantage on that table?
The side that Quezada is on now has some small warps in it. I think you're at a little bit of a disadvantage playing on that side. It can influence some of your drifting, but the table overall is playing pretty poorly. I would say you're getting a lot of flying pucks that we normally don't have on a main table of a tournament, but that's what we're playing with this time, so both players will need to account for that in the speed of their shots and their shot selection.
It's a good block by Q. Very quick shot.
There's that towel I was talking about. You saw Brian Accrocco bounce the puck off his right rail, and he followed it with a right wall under. Q really needs to key into that tell. It's a pretty obvious tell. Most pro players don't have such a glaring tip of their pitch like that. If Quezada can focus in on that, this will be a much closer match. Nice quick cross straight by Brian Accrocco from Quezada from right of center.
Accrocco generates a lot of power without a big windup. He has a fairly small winder for the amount of power he generates. Off. Quezada's going to have to keep the puck on the table. His shots lend themselves to flying off, I would think, more than Brain shots do.
I think on a table that's flying like this, the key is you have to hit your shots accurately, especially banks. If they contact the rail, then if they contact, for instance, the right rail and a right wall under, then the back rail, the shot's going to leave the table. If it's on goal and accurate, it's going to go in the goal and it's not going to leave the table. I think accuracy is probably the best way to counter a table that's flying. A second measure would be taking a little bit off of your shots or shooting more straights and overs, which are by nature off-speed shots.
Right, and I was talking to somebody on the tournament floor about that. And so a table flying off this much, to me, logically, might benefit a player who relies less on undershots, left wall, right wall unders. And if I'm thinking of players in the top 10, the name that comes to mind for me is Ihab Shukri.
Sure.
Having the weakest unders. He doesn't really have a lot of power unders, especially a power right wall under.
Ehab basically does not have a right wall under, and his left wall under is hit from deep on the table, so it has a really obtuse angle, and it's less likely to fly off of the table.
And the other player might be the borderline top 10 player would be Keith Fletcher, who doesn't have a powerful right wall.
Yeah.
And those guys are both performing, above their seeds in a sense of this tournament.
Yeah, both of these players have power-based games. I think Q probably hits his right wall under harder than any player in the sport. Accrocco, as DJ was saying earlier, generates a lot of power from a short windup. It's 5-4. We have some really big points coming up here, especially for Quezada.
Oh, that was a nice power cut. That was that one that you're talking about that flies off. It stayed on this time. I mean, how bad I can tell is that? Is that bad enough to tell where are you gonna charge on this information? Key point.
I'm not going to charge, especially the right wall, because it's only about 80% reliable. Sometimes he does mix it up. When he does a straight drift, you definitely can't charge because he's going left wall or straight shot. But you can at least, when he drifts straight, narrow it down to a handful of shots. And when he bounces off the right wall, I basically always set on right wall.
That's the same power cut. That's a great shot. He's used it twice in a row. Brain with a very quick shot there.
It was a nice right wall over, actually. I think Quezada played pretty good defense, pulling for the over.
And a pretty right wall under. In the game 2-1. I think Brandon Accrocco is not well served playing at the exact pace Q likes to play. Q's pace of play is very similar to yours, Billy, in that he takes it out of the goal, does a quick drift and shoots.
Right.
If he gets it back, he does a quick drift and shoots. It's not as quick as Danny Hines, who does maybe no drift and really shoot, but Brian Accrocco, he plays fast, typically drifts it a lot more, does a circle drift. There's a lot of things like that that would be effective against Q, but it seems like right now he's trying to go shot for shot, and that's playing into Q's game.
Yeah, you cannot match Q shot for shot. Q's my main practice partner in Chicago. I'm the #1 player in the world. I cannot go toe-to-toe with Q. His offense is simply too good. I've got to try to take Q out of his comfort zone. I've got to try to win it by doing kind of cagey things, not just trying to stand toe-to-toe with him and throw haymakers. You're just not going to beat Quezada by doing that.
And Quezada's very quick to the line, too. I don't know if he's the fastest line, but the thing is his arms are so long, and he's starting closer to the line than anybody else. So he's able to get there quickly if he has to. On our Ustream channel, too, I think it's the finals of the winners brackets of the juniors. There's some clapping going there. I'm not sure who won yet. We'll try to get a report for you. But we want to thank you, of course, for joining us on the Ustream telecast today. It's the 2012 Air Hockey World Championships. For more information, please check out our website. That's airhockeyworld.com. You can also find information on airhockey.com. Air Hockey World, you're going to find tips, tutorials by Billy Stubb, who's here in the booth. He's got several tutorials that you'll be able to find in the forum section and on tips and hints. You'll also find our rules, our current rankings, and you'll be able to find a table near you and contact local players. So it's a great resource. So here we go. We're in the game 4. Brian Accrocco on the top of the table. Brian Quezada, known as Q, on the bottom of the table in the New York Yankees cap, in the red shirt with the sleeves.
And even though Quezada's up 2-1, at this point, I think you still have to have Accrocco as a small favorite in this match. Obviously, if Q is able to win this game, he's going to go to a huge favorite by going up 3-1.
I would agree with you. Open up with a couple crosses there.
Just a vicious cut there from left of center.
Okay, 3 of his last 4 shots from Q have been power cut shots. And there's
nice right wall over. Just took a little bit of pace off of it. Accrocco moved for what he thought was a right wall under and gave Q the easy goal.
That's a good shot against Brian. Q wasn't really ready on defense there, was he?
Q went for another right wall over. Brian Accrocco pulled forward correctly, and Accrocco followed up with a nice forehand left wall. That's something that will give Q trouble.
Does Q have problems in his transition from offense to defense? In other words, not playing the chase game or interfering in the puck, but in terms of he's definitely lost the puck and he has to now set back into defense. It seems like, I know Will has a problem with that. I have a problem with that. Long, tall players seem to have problems with that.
Yeah, I get most of my goals on cue from catching him in transition from offense to defense.
Okay.
When I get the puck, I try to immediately shoot because I don't think it's so much mechanical. I think for Q, it's more psychological. He just has a lapse of concentration after he gives up the puck.
Oh, and a bad self-score by Brian Accrocco there. That's the air hockey suicide.
5-5. I think these points are really big for Q. And that looked like a mishit cross to the cut side by Accrocco.
Sure did. No, mishit by Q there. Cutting across, there's not too much margin for error. He cut a little too fine and just basically missed that puck. It's a good rival under. It's a barn burner. 2 games apiece. It seems like if Q's defense just gives him a few chances a game, he's going to win. I mean, he's just going to have to block him half the time, give himself 14 possessions, and he should win the match. That time, he probably had 10 possessions.
So the finals of the
Yeah. Okay, Billy Stubbs has left us. He's getting prepped for his match. He's playing Tim Weissman next, so he's left the booth to begin his preparations. 2-3 games away for that match. We're past our time here. I'm not sure what the referee is doing. Need to start this game. Here we go. Puck should start on the far side. That's with Q, Brian Quezada. On the near side of the sleeveless shirt is Brian Accrocco. There's the power cut shot from Quezada. 1-0. Same shot, power cut shot. Right wall under Brian Accrocco. Q falls the right wall under his zone. He's up 3-1. Timeout. That's an early timeout by Brian. Right wall under. Q started off with 2 power cuts and then complemented it with 2 right wall unders. Brandon scored the same 2 shots. He went a right wall under and a cut shot. There's back to the cut. Kind of a flub in there. 3-5. Cross attempt by Q. And a right wall under. 3 cuts, 3 right wall unders for Q this game. We have Mark Nizzi joining us down in the booth.
Hello.
Oh, bad turnover there. Very quick transition shots, what we were talking about in Q, to take a 3-2 lead. It's going to be big for Q, Mark. We were talking with Billy, and they'd play, we believe Q has played twice against Brian in tournaments and then 2 challenge matches. Or 4-0, so he's lost 10 consecutive sets, Brian.
And is this their first or second set here? What's the deal with this?
This is the this is their only set. It's well, they played 1 set in the spin-off earlier, but this is the 9-12 spin-off. The winner is a master, basically. The winner goes into the top 10. The loser is 11th.
Right.
The winner is either 9th or 10th. They have to play Keith Fletcher. They're gonna have to win twice.
And who's up 3-2?
Brian Quezada is.
Brian has an opportunity here to beat Brian for the first time. Is that correct?
Well, I think so. We believe so.
Q's come really a good long ways. I played him about a year ago in Colorado when he came for a visit, and you know, he was just kind of coming out of his amateur stage, showing a little potential there, and I've been really impressed the dramatic difference this year versus last year and how much he's improved. He's in my opinion, he is a solid master in my opinion from what I've seen. He's just had a great mentor in Billy Stubbs and of course Dan Meyer and Goran and even Don, you know, to come and train him. So he's improved dramatically.
But yeah, I agree. I don't like the term master because we have masters out there that aren't close to Brian's level, but I would say ultra pro, and he's at the top level. Let's put it that way. If you look at his finishes, you're not going to really see a lot of improvement because you're going to see I think 7-9 or 9-7, and whatever he finishes this tournament, or 9 or 10, it seems like he's regressing. This is not true. The tournament fields have been different. To finish top 10 in this tournament, or even top 11, would be very impressive. He's beat some really good players.
Where did he finish last year at this time?
I think he finished 9th 1 year ago to finish Masters
really?
the first time.
Okay.
The field, though, was not close to as tough as this field.
See, I played him before the Vegas tournament in 2011, and it was right after he'd beaten Chris Lee at challenge match. And I think he said his prior finish before that was like 52nd in a national.
Right.
So, you know, between that and then how he's been, you know, I guess after that tournament, has been pretty, you know, dramatic.
Couple of nice. There's a beautiful cross. He hadn't been hitting that. It's a good one to have mixed in his arsenal. The right wall under has been Brian's trademark shot in this match so far. Q, of course, there's his right wall under. Scored a lot of power cuts and a lot of right wall unders. Oh, that's kind of that was an under, but it kind of took a little pace off of it.
All righty, we're going to get ready to play the quarterfinals of the U18 Air Hockey Youth Division Tournament. This match will be taking place inside the pit on table number 2. It will be Anthony Nunez versus Jacob Weissman.
Like we've been saying, Q is very fast to the line. He's got long arms, and he's starting. We got some kind of dispute. Okay, we had a little controversy there. We're back. Brian yells at himself, turning the puck over there. Q's having problems with that right wall under. He's moving very strange for it. Yells at himself again, another bad turnover. Right well under again. Q's got to do something to. There's a nice power cut. Q needs to do something and block that shot here. Can't let Brian close this game out. There it is again. He needs to make an adjustment. I mean, you don't want to over-adjust where the straights start working, but you can't let one shot kill you like that. Cross straight, 6-4. Big heel from Accrocco. He wins the cross straight. I think every shot he scored that was right well under cross straight, all the same side.
Yeah. All right, going into the 7th game here between Brian Quezada and Brian Accrocco. Once again, not to our recollection, can we remember Quezada ever defeating Accrocco? So this is the opportunity to get a first-time win over him.
You know, if Q is going to win, he's going to have to do something to stop the right wall under and the cross. They go to the same side. I don't know if it's pre-adjusting the defense move over, just thinking about it more. Would you be willing to move your defense a little bit? I mean, what do you do to stop somebody when they're killing you to one side like that?
Well, Brian has his long arms, and I could see where it could be a little bit of a detriment to his game. I would just recommend something like playing back a little bit more. He's got a great reach as it is, and you know, he's cutting off a lot of straights with longer arms playing up high, but you know, he's getting tore up with those right wall unders. So I would just personally, myself, I'd play a little bit more back.
And the thing, if he's going to do something like that, I would recommend he move his whole body back, his stance back, you know, a half inch, quarter inch, rather than just pull your hand in. So you don't want to create a different angle than you're used to playing with.
Okay, yeah, I would agree. Just whatever it is, get your mallet, you know, further back. If you have to just move your body, then so be it.
Now, on a good note for Q, Brian Accrocco's not really stopping his offense yet either.
That's true. Q's got some really good cut shots that I've seen Pearson Bryan's defense pretty well. And, yeah, he's
I mean, I guess we have to favor Accrocco here. History favors Accrocco.
And he's come back from what, a 3-1 deficit or 3-2? What's it been?
I think it was 2-2. Let's see. Yes, it was. Well, they split every game.
Okay.
Let's put the person on Q's side of the table has won every game.
Okay.
Which Billy actually said that was the better side. No, Billy said it was the worst side because it had the warps. I would argue that that's the better side because I don't want to shoot into the warps. I mean,
agree.
it's going to mess your drift up just slightly, but shooting into it's going to cause what's going to cause it to fly, in my opinion.
I would agree.
Well, that was a funky little shot there. A little lucky point in my brain to start things off. Nice power cut from Q. Good block. He finally blocked that right wall under. Maybe he made an adjustment.
Yes.
I mean, just thinking about it is somewhat of an adjustment. He went for the power, and it was not there. Power cut. It might have been there. He actually missed that shot. It hit the back rail, rebounded off Brian's mount, went off the table. I like that cut Accrocco attempted there. After Q blocked the first right wall under time, it was nice to see what he did. He definitely flinched towards the right wall under. Had I been Brain, I would have come right back with a cut. After I saw that, I would have come right back with a cut. I'm not sure if we have a stretch going on or a. I think we may have an injury timeout. I'm not sure how he got injured there. He might get hit with a puck. He might have took a flying punk to the junk, as we say. That's a beautiful right wall over. He hasn't done that in a while.
Nice response.
Yeah, great power cut from Q. There's another right wall over, we think. It was a right wall over. He kind of had the speed of a right wall under. That's another reason to hit the puck hard. When you hit the puck hard, and you're aiming at a right wall under and it goes over, you get rewarded sometimes. That was a nice right wall under. Brian's got a big lead. We want to thank everybody that's joining us on the Ustream feed. This is the 2012 World Championships of Air Hockey. Brian Accrocco in the near ground in the sleeveless shirt from Houston, the 7th ranked player in the world, versus Brian Quezada from Chicago, Illinois. And it's 6-3, which means Brian Accrocco's 1 point from winning, and Q knocks it in himself to end the match. He falls down dejected. It was a great match, 7 games. Quezada looks dejected. It was 6-3 though. That's a lot harder to stomach when it's 6-6 or 6-5.
Yeah.
6-3, you can kind of live with it. You'll be able to sleep tonight, Brian. Don't worry, you had a good tournament. 11th place is nothing. 11th in the world. You finished at your seed. You did your job.
Nothing to feel bad about, especially in this size of the tournament that we had. Brian in the last tournament 2 months ago finished 7th place, if I recall correctly, and that was just a little over 50 people. So for him to finish 11th in this tournament, it's, in my opinion, significantly better than finishing 7th in a tournament half its size.